Hi guys, Fix here. Are you new to Hunt Showdown? Here are 10 tips that are guaranteed to help you improve faster. Let's dive into it. Number 1. Don't get attached to your money. I get it. Hunt Showdown is an economy-based extraction shooter where the main goal is to extract one or more bounties from the map, so money should be important, right? Well, not exactly. While you need money to purchase weapons, tools and consumables in Hunt Showdown, making money is not that difficult once you get the hang of it, and there are plenty of viable budget loadouts to lean on should you be struggling. The downside of focusing too much on the financial aspects of the game is that it's likely to impact your decision making, which will hold you back in the long term. I actually made a money guide recently where I share all of my best tips and tricks to help you make more money along the way, so why not give that a watch after this one? I'll leave a link in the description. Number 2. Your hunter is expendable. I think most players who are new to Hunt Showdown have been asking themselves how important it is to survive and extract in their matches. The short answer is that it doesn't really matter. After every match, you're able to recruit a free hunter that comes with a basic loadout, meaning you're never really at risk of losing all your hunters. When you survive and extract with a hunter, you level up and gain points for new traits to make that hunter more powerful. But the truth is that having a fully decked out hunter with maxed out traits is still no guarantee for success, and I've had some of my best rounds on brand new hunters with no traits at all. Similar to my first point, caring too much about losing your hunter will inevitably hold you back and impact your decision making. Realize that hunters are expendable and it's not the end of the world if you lose them. Recruit a new one and get back in there. Number 3. Separate, jump, and vault. This tip is one that took me far too long to implement, so I highly suggest you do this right now. By default, jumping and vaulting are bound to the same key. This may seem like a nice quality of life feature at first, but I can guarantee you it's doing more harm than good. The problem with having your jump and vault in the same button is that you will inevitably find yourself in situations where you mean to jump, but end up vaulting instead. In a typical scenario, you may want to jump into a window to get a better angle outside, but instead you vault over and fall to the ground below. I'm sure you can think of a few scenarios where that would be less than ideal, but let's just say that taking fall damage and landing on top of an enemy team is not optimal. Number 4. Assign useful keybinds. This was another thing that took me far longer to implement than I'd like to admit. Setting up your keybinds may not be the most exciting thing, but I can assure you it will make a massive difference in your gameplay and in turn your success rate. In particular, I would make sure to set up custom keybinds for all 4 consumable slots. In example, I have bound my first consumable slot to my mouse, and I will always make sure to put my large vitality shot on that slot. This helps me select my vitality shot much quicker instead of fumbling around with keybinds that are out of reach or using the scroll wheel on my mouse to select it. In another example, one of my consumable slots are bound to G for grenade, and I tend to put explosives on this slot when possible. In the third example, one of my tool slots is bound to T for traps, and hence I always assign my traps to this slot. Having keybinds that are easy to remember will help you select the right items at the right time, and as you can probably imagine, less fumbling around means more success overall. Number 5. Practice in the shooting range. The shooting range was not available when I started playing Hunt about 3 years ago, but it's an extremely useful tool for anyone who wants to get as much aim practice as possible in the least amount of time. While practicing in regular games is perfectly fine, it involves time for gearing up, matchmaking, and actually finding players in the games to fight. Sometimes the fights don't go your way, and you may not even get a shot off before it's over. Practicing in the shooting range is the easiest way to get a feel for the various weapons in the game without interruptions. If you're trying to learn a new weapon, why not spend 10 to 15 minutes popping targets before you start your daily session? Aside from being useful for aim practice, the shooting range will also give you valuable information as the targets provide you with actual damage numbers and are affected by status effects like bleeding and burning. Number 6. Every situation is a learning opportunity. So you died. They must be hacking or at least smurfing. Surely this game is awful and frankly you should probably just uninstall. Wrong. This kind of attitude is something I see a lot of, and is one of the biggest reasons why people don't improve nearly as much as they could. We've all been there. Hell, I used to be like that myself a few years back. The game doesn't go the way you hoped and you're looking for something or someone to blame for it, whether it be yourself, your teammates, or the opponent. The harsh reality is that if you're looking for something to complain about, you're not looking for something you can learn from. Every situation is a learning opportunity, whether it be the rotation the enemy made before they kill you, the trap you walked into, or the shot you were leading too much. Try to assess what went wrong and figure out what you could do better next time. On the other hand, if you ended up winning, try to analyze what happened and think carefully about what you did well that led to your success. Sometimes you may find that you didn't even do that well at all, but won the game anyway. Realizing that it's possible to get away with making mistakes is crucial to learning. You may not have done everything perfectly just because you won. Number 7. Improvement takes time. Every game takes time to master, and the more complex the game, the more time it takes. Hunt Showdown may seem like a fairly straightforward shooter when you first get into it. At least that's how it felt to me. The more you get into the game, however, the more you realize that it's far from a simple game, and the little details add up over time. Don't get discouraged if you don't do very well in the start. It is completely normal, and we've all been there. If you give it some time, you will inevitably see improvement. In the meantime, realize that the journey is just as important as the destination. Try to focus on what you enjoy about the game and the learning process in itself, rather than beating yourself up about not doing as well as you wish you did. Number 8. Stick to one loadout. On the topic of game complexity, Hunt offers a large selection of weapons and loadouts. While it may be tempting to switch it up every game, I recommend you stick to 1 or 2 loadouts in the beginning, and I'll explain why. Since there is so much you need to learn about the game, adding more complexity to it by switching up your weapons every game will only make the learning process harder. The various weapons have different stats, such as velocity, penetration power, headshot range, and damage. If you're used to playing the Winfield with normal ammo, but suddenly switch to a Mosin with Spitzer ammo, you will more than likely struggle as the Spitzer bullets travel twice as fast. By sticking to one loadout, you're limiting how many new things you have to learn at once, and you can focus your efforts on mastering that one loadout, whilst having the capacity to get used to the other aspects of the game. Number 9. Hide your MMR. This may be a controversial topic, but MMR or matchmaking rating carries little or no value in Hunt Showdown. The system is highly volatile as is primarily based on the rank differences between the 2 players in an encounter. In example, if a 5-star player gets killed by a 3-star player, their MMR will take a heavy hit compared to if the killing player was another 5-star. As a result, you will likely see your rank going up and down a lot depending on the day. The difference between a 4-star and a 5-star player could literally just be a couple of bad games. And on the contrary, I've gone from 3 to 5 stars in a couple of hours on multiple occasions. Despite MMR being so volatile and the game not having an actual leaderboard, people seem to be very focused on this number. A good game is only considered good if you're at least 5 or 6 stars at the time, and a great game will be considered less good if you happen to be 3 or 4 stars instead. Maybe you started your gaming session as a proud 5-star, but ended on 3 stars, and now you're beating yourself up about how terrible you are at the game. The truth of the matter is that it literally does not make a difference. Your MMR carries no more value than what you put in it. Ironically, achieving a high rank seems to be the goal for a lot of people. I cannot speak for everyone, but chances are you will enjoy the game a lot more and be a lot less frustrated if you hide your rank by simply clicking on it. You can thank me later. Number 10. Keep a positive attitude. This has been a red line throughout this video, yet it's so important that I'd like to highlight it one final time. In this age we live in, where toxicity and negative emotion in gaming is more prevalent than ever, I challenge you to go back to the roots. Back to where it all started. Gaming is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something we look forward to and something that provides positive experiences. Most people play video games as a way to relax after a long day, and the vast majority are not professional esport competitors. So why treat it as such? Focus on the good and fun things about your gaming experience, and you'll find yourself a lot happier for it. Source, trust me bro. In all seriousness though, I do speak from experience, and I can only hope that you'll take my advice. It has made a tremendous difference for me and entirely changed how I look at gaming. If I can do it, so can you.
That counts, right?
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the bayou.